were stood there waving for ages before you got to me. How are you doing? It's 6 o'clock. It's time for a brand new One Day Special. It's a turn of Pink Frog, so we know we are in for a treat. Before I introduce the lovely Hazel in a few moments, or indeed your One Day Special, check out that price. My goodness, it's not often we see a One Day Special you can get for less than £15, so we're expecting it to be a busy one. So if you want to get hold of yours, the details are there already on the screen. Now, of course, mention Hazel, lovely Hazel's here. We were just having a chat and you were saying this is only the third release of stamps.
Yep, third stamp launch.
It feels as if Pink Frog have been doing stamps forever.
It does, but it was just October.
Wow.
Doesn't time fly when you're having fun?
It certainly does. And this One Day Special, I love it because you've got little elements that are going to go long ways.
Absolutely.
Gorgeous colours.
Yeah.
But also we've got a different size of cardstock from Pink Frog.
We have the 21 by 30, which is a really popular size. Now, you will get an instruction sheet for 10 folds to get you started. So if you kind of look at this as like a starter kit for somebody or a present, because you're going to get your instructions, you're going to get 15 sheets of cardstock in there, 5 green, 5 red and 5 super smooth. But then you're going to get your gorgeous stamp set, which has got 13 stamps on it. And that's a mix from your roses. You've got that beautiful music background.
Yes.
It all just works so well together, and I really love using it.
Well, this is it. And I do urge you to jump ahead, because it's not the only stamp set that we've got within the these kind of hour, or indeed the One Day Special shows. But when you are having a little peruse, check out, because we've got another stamp set which I'll show you in a moment. And that is £14.95 for just the stamp by itself. So on this occasion, it's like you're paying that price for your stamp, but you're getting your cardstock included. And as Hazel quite rightly said there, you've got your 15 sheets there. Now you've got your 3 different colours in there. You've got that gorgeous true red, the true green, and of course that fabulous super smooth, which I'll tell you about in a few moments. And then of course the stamp set. And they're really useful stamps, these stamps, aren't they?
I love using them. There's so many things you can do just by pulling different bits and pieces in, like your masket and your Mylar. You can create such masterpieces.
Really good point.
I've really enjoyed using them.
And classic stars, I mean roses and that kind of, like you said, the music script that you've got with this as well. Beautiful to bring them all together. Now, of course, you've got all these gorgeous cards that we're going to share with you. And these are some of those fancy folds, aren't they, with regards to... you'll learn how to create these because you'll get that insert alongside these. That is beautiful.
So it could be Valentine's, it could be anniversary, it could just be birthday. It lends itself to everything, really, the classic rose.
Well, this is it. And then you're using the super smooth. Now, I love the way that the mats and the layers have been built up using that gorgeous green. But again, your pastel tones with these. Beautiful.
Add as much or as little colour as you want. Use it to create your borders and your backgrounds. Use it on your watercolour card to spritz out and make some really interesting backgrounds too. They heat emboss beautifully.
Gorgeous. And again, of course, you've got like your hero stamp there, which you can be using, but you've got your supportive stamps to work around the edge. One of my favourite styles of stamp is to have kind of like a script or a music script that you've got, and that's useful because it kind of says something, but it doesn't say something at the same time. Absolutely brilliant. Now, we are busy for your One Day Special. I'm not surprised. Your cardstock, you will know its quality. We're talking Pink Frog. You're getting 5 repeats of each of those in that new size, which is 21 by 30 centimetres. Slightly bigger than your A4, but you haven't got the complications of the 0.3 millimetre.
It levels it all out, doesn't it? And makes it easier, which is what we want. When we're crafting, we just want to just score it down and away we go.
And there you go. You can see obviously loads and loads of different ways. We'll be talking about the different ways you can work with these. Absolutely beautiful. That gorgeous classic rose there, as you can see. I like this one though as well. It's kind of a different look, using kind of the foiled effect there as well. And
that's incorporating some of the stamps, which is the next set coming up. But they heat emboss beautifully as well. It just gives a different look to it.
I love it. There you go. So that is your One Day Special. If you fancy getting hold of that, as many of you are, then 962066. Now, in this hour, we have got obviously the launch of the One Day Special, but we have another launch in this hour because we have a happy hour deal for you. Now, you'll be familiar with the kind of complexity of a happy hour. Yeah, you've got an hour to buy it basically at a discounted price. Now, my goodness, I'm not going to stand and hold this for long, but you are looking at your super smooth cardstock. You are getting a whopping great 160 sheets It's 300 GSM, so it's absolutely perfect for your construction with regards to your bags, your boxes, your frames,
Absolutely,
your card bases, any of your techniques. It's going to literally take anything that you throw at it. We'll be looking at some of the different things you can do with this. But Hazel, I mean, this is brilliant value.
And it's a great time to stock up just before that Christmas break. You know you're going to get it in time for Christmas, and then you've got everything that you need around you to play whilst you're off. So yeah.
Perfect. You can see you've got an £8 saving now. I'm just going to pop this down for a moment because basically my poor little arms are, they're aching. And I'm going to pick up some of the boards because this is the thing that I love. You guys bring us these boards which illustrate the variety. There's a whole host of different techniques you can use these with. Now talk us around some of these, Hazel.
Do you know what? The good thing about the boards, it's the visual, because it's all good me standing again. Oh, you can stamp on it, you can ink on it. But when you visually see it, it just kind of sinks in, doesn't it? So we've got on there heat embossing, we've got your die cutting there, just embossing your normal standard embossing folders. If you like inking in them, you can do your letterpress techniques there. You've got your construction with your frames, doodling, perfect for doodling on there. And then you can scrumple up your card and ink it, and it's amazing. It looks like leather and it just adds real texture to your backgrounds.
I love it. And this is another one that when you're using your stencils, not a regular embossing folder where you kind of got your positive and your negative, you need to have a good cardstock to pick out that detail.
Yeah.
Love it, love it, love it. So that's just a little idea. Lots of you adding that happy hour deal into your basket. Doing these individually because they're very heavy. So let's talk about techniques now. And this is things that we love to kind of change the colour of the cardstock. Of
course we do, yeah. So on there you have got like oxide inks onto the card. You've got paints, you've got blending. You've got oxides with water, like dripping. So
I'm guessing with the nature of these, if you are using where there's a lot of fluid involved, you don't have to worry. Your cardstock is still going to work with it.
The only thing that I would say is if you're watercolouring and you're going in with a paintbrush, don't over-agitate it because it will bobble because it's not a watercolour card.
Okay.
But if you're just flashing over, it's absolutely fine.
And if you do need your watercolour cardstock, don't worry, we have got a fabulous deal with regards to that as well. But as you can see there, for those regular techniques that we see, don't go anywhere. There's another board, I hope you're sitting comfortably. There's a lot to show you. It can do a lot of things, this card. So here you go. So more of those fabulous techniques that we like to use. I mean, putting a base down with your gesso, absolutely perfect.
Really, really effective. And then you've got your texture pastes on there. Also going through embossing folder with your gilding waxes.
Isn't that effective?
Just moving along.
Effective. Whether you're using your stencils. You were talking about your watercolour pencils, as long as you're not applying too much water.
Correct, it will still pull it out and it will still move that colour. So excellent for your alcohol markers.
Perfect.
A real good smooth cardstock for that.
Love it. So a nice go-to.
Yes.
You're going to have to go to get it quickly because 10% of the stock has gone of that already. So that's your happy hour deal. 160, 300 GSM sheets for a whopping great price there. As you can see, it's a phenomenal price. £13.98, and you can add that in alongside your one-day special. Details are at the bottom of your screen. We are busy for that as well. Now, don't check out your basket without having a look at some of the other items that we've got. Either stay with me or look on the website because we've got some phenomenal deals. And we've got a brand new set of stamps as well that's going to be perfect for your backgrounds. I love these, that distressed look that we try to achieve time and time again. These are going to help us.
These are a great add-on, and they're going to just complement whatever you're doing, whether it's stamping with flowers or whatever. If you like making frames as much as I do, they look amazing stamped onto frames. But they join up. So on the board that you've got there, you'll notice it's bigger than each piece is bigger than A7 because I've joined it 2 or 3 times just so that you can see that you can extend your pattern out. But how effective.
Clever there,
And adding 2 or 3 colours in there or spritzing a bit of water. The kind of wavy one, that's got glossy accents in, and I love doing that because it kind of interferes with the colour and it changes it underneath and it really just pops out.
Magnifies things, doesn't it, that glossy accents. And there you go, you can see obviously those frames that we love to see Hazel put together for us there, showing you how you can use that amazing cardstock and of course those texture stamps. Again, use them with the one-day special.
Yeah, they just work, don't they? That's kind of like a peeled, painty kind of look, that one. I like that.
Love it, love it, love it. That's, I mean, here, just a simple strip there.
And do you know what? The size of the card that you've got there, that is using one of the 21x30s that you get in the pack. but you cut it in half lengthways, so that gives you an A6 tent fold or an A6 landscape. But
so
it's
is that
just
like a twofer then?
Yeah, a twofer. That's exactly. That'll be my first demo. A
Julia
twofer.
Watts taught me that one, a twofer, a 2-for-1. And again here, just loads and loads of
examples. Look how nice that matches up though, using the background, the textures with the rose.
Love it, love it, love it. And again, just £14.95. So affordable, these prices in this hour. So if you fancy getting hold of those at 941170. One more thing that I want to share with you before we go and have a look at the twofer.
Okay.
And that's your watercolour cardstock, because the sheer mention of the name and it's gone crazy. So with this one, if you are looking at doing your water techniques or bringing in more moisture, then this is the bundle for you. But please, please, please look at the price. You are saving £16 on this. This is an hour to stock up on your basics. One day special, I mean, it's a brilliant one with the stamp set, but of course you could go for multiples of those, or you can with any of these. And this one here, the watercolour cardstock, is definitely one to bulk buy on. 80 sheets you're getting for £15.99. And please, 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 during this hour, become a Freedom member, because with this one, it's a weighty bundle that's going to be sent to you. Hence your post and packing of £4.95. But just for an extra £1, you are going to be able to become a Freedom member, and that means you can add anything else in and you won't have any additional post and packing on any of your orders for the next month, let alone this hour. And when you're seeing prices like this, if you're paying £14.95, you don't want to be paying an extra £5 for your post and packing to take advantage of that deal. Doesn't make sense, does it? Website's the place to go, because that's where you'll find all the goodies we've been talking about. You'll also be able to check out your order online, get that order on the system super speedy, and become a Freedom member at the same time. But of course, if you do want to give us a call, you can do 01733 602 2000. There's lots of bargains and savings to be had. Now, oh, this one's caught our Emily's eye. Oh, the ice gold. No way. £14.99 for 300 sheets. My goodness.
That's an amazing deal.
That is phenomenal.
Fly when we bring that one on, because you can do so much with it. I love inking onto it and
spraying. Is that the one that makes it look like your ink's metallic when you stamp on it?
Yeah, and so
wow.
it still shines through with the ink, and it just looks amazing.
Love it. And if you fancy adding that one in, then of course you can do. If your order starts getting to that £60 threshold, don't forget you can spread the cost over 2 payments. So it really is kind of one of those craft pantry filler shows, I would like to call it, and loads of 5-star reviews, so check those out as you go as well. So Hazel, twofers. How do we get a twofer out of one of these sheets?
Okay, so one of the 21 by 30s out of the pack, I'm just going to pop that into my trimmer, and I'm going to cut it, because it's 21 across, I'm going to cut it at 10.5 centimetres. So I'm just going to line it up and cut that down. So that gives us 2 pieces exactly the same. If we bring our board in, that is just going to, on the centimetre side, if you don't have a board, then you could just use a ruler and a score tool.
Okay.
So halfway point, nice and simple, will be 15 centimetres.
And that's where it gets tricky with an A4 sheet, because it's not an exact figure thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like 29.7 millimetres or something like that. So to make it halfway point, you've got to chop part of that off to start with.
I always found myself cutting it down to 29 centimetres and scoring at 14.5.
Yeah.
But that half a centimetre does make a difference. Yeah. So, and then because you're on a half a centimetre, it's half to do the 4
and
folds.
And layers, and it all gets very complicated.
So that would be my 2 cards. I've got. I'm going to do one as a tent fold and one as a landscape.
Lovely.
But to accompany that, I'm going to take one of the super smooth 180 GSM insert paper sheets. So it's just really nice to do an insert. So I would do this the same way.
Okay.
I'd cut it at 10.5, and I have got some done, but it's just, in fact, I'm going to take that down to 10.
Okay. So the only difference between this is the actual weight. We're looking at 180 GSM rather than 300.
And then I would just cut that down to 14.5. Just so that when I go inside my card, if I bring this in for you...
Oh, I see, yeah.
I've just got that little bit. Do you know what I mean? And I just think that insert makes such a difference.
Yeah.
To a small card, it just makes it look more expensive.
Lovely.
So I'm going to move that out the way, because I have done 2 of those ready. So I've got them to the side. So for the first one, which one shall I start with? Let's start with the rose. We're going to need this stamp here, and I'm going to just going to pop that on a block for, no, in fact, sorry.
That's okay.
Confused. We'll have the one with the little leaves around.
Now, obviously, we just saw you using the super smooth paper for your insert, but it has gone crazy for that ice gold paper as well. So, of course, either of
they are
those you could
both.
use.
If you like pearlescent inserts, then that's the one to go for. But if you like doing all of your techniques on the super smooth, it's nice to have a lighter weight one to go with. So it just depends what you prefer.
Sometimes you don't want that shimmer, do you? You want to kind of use it in different ways. So not a bad idea going for both of them, to be honest. At $14.99 would make sense too, wouldn't it?
Right, so what I've got here is, these are our masket sheets. So it's a tacky sheet that comes on a piece of acetate.
Okay.
And when you're stamping, I find them a must.
Right.
So all you would do is ink up your stamp, and then you would stamp down. I'm going to be tight and use as little of it as I can, look.
Okay, yeah.
So you'd stamp into there, and then you would grab some scissors. I'm not going to cut it out.
No, we get the idea.
Because I've got one done on there. But you'd go round, I'm just going to cut the section out, look.
Now, Charmaine was talking earlier on, and she was saying one of the first things that she does whenever she gets stamps is to make masks.
100%.
So useful to have.
Yeah, and all I've got here then, so this is just a thick sheet of acetate that I've gone through and I've made the most popular ones that I use all the time. So it's this one here that I need with the leaves on. So I'm just going to carefully peel that off, and I'm going to position on the card where I would like it. So I'm going to go about there.
For $9.99 you are getting 10 of those masket sheets, and as you can see there, you only use the tiniest amount and you can reuse it over and over again. So that's the beauty of this. So it is worth adding this one into your basket as well. So
I just thought I'd keep it really nice and simple for the first couple of demos, because it's just nice not to overdo it.
No,
you know,
I like that.
we sometimes want just simple.
Into it. Now you're moving from the centre of that design outwards?
Absolutely, and I'm using a blending. You see, I'm so used to going for these. I have got my brushes as well, and they just work great too. So I'm just shading a little bit of blue around there. Now that's Blueprint Sketch, and then I'm going to come in to our. Do you know, I thought I could see something dangling. Let me just take that off, because I've caught it on something. So I'll come back to that. This is the music notes. I absolutely love this.
This looks, if you don't mind me saying, this looks like you've used it a fair bit, Hazel.
Yes, it does. Do you know, it's just one of them that I just keep going for, like the script in the Poppy set.
It's one you never put away, really, isn't it?
And I've just kept it on the acetate from the sheet. I've just cut it down so that, you know, like when you portion stamp and your fingers get all over the back, you kind of lose your stick a little bit, and it's really annoying having to scrub them and trying to get the stick. So I keep the acetate on there.
Okay.
You can tell which is the top and the bottom, because there's a few little dots up there.
Right.
And I'm just going to lay that over, and I'm just going to press down just to give me a rough bit of notes in the background there.
And it's nice because on that stamp you haven't got a harsh edge to that script either.
No, and again, I didn't ink right up to the outside because I didn't want to have a, do you know what I mean? If I'd have inked all up, but I kept my fingers in the middle there. Right, so, do you know what? I knew I'd do something. What I meant to do was stamp the rose first.
I must admit, I did wonder why you did it that way round, but equally so, it would work the other way around as well, wouldn't it? It's just horses for courses.
Absolutely. So we'll just peel that away. Nice, you see that looks nice like that, doesn't it? I'll stick that back on my sheet, and then I will position this.
Lovely. And there you go, just find one error. And it does show you that whichever way you work with this, there's always more than one way, isn't there? That's the key thing. So you just find your comfortable way with those. But there you go, look, that's perfect.
So I've got a little bit of a halo, and this is how you would get by it. You see, I'm too honest, you probably can't see it, but I can, and it's going to niggle me. So that's going back on. And I'm just going to go in, and I will need to use my blender for this. And I'm just going to scuff that out.
Oh, I see, yeah.
And that is just going to repair, because it's excitement.
Oh,
you're all with me. You know what you know what it's like.
We've been there.
You get some.
Definitely.
There we go. Now it's nice and crisp. So from there, I'm going to place some of the Blueprint Sketch down and a little bit of Evergreen. Yeah, Evergreen Bough, one of my favourites.
Okay.
And I'm going to go directly on. Now, I always say this when I come on, I am not the best colourist in the world.
Okay.
But so long as I'm happy and I think it looks quite nice at the end, then that's good for me.
Well, the thing is, it's having a good stamped image, isn't it, to start with? One that gives you the confidence, first of all, to actually have a go.
Yeah.
Because I think with these, whichever way, whatever result you get with them, I think it's going to look fabulous because of the image that you stamped.
Yeah. So I'm just quickly going in. I'm not spending too much time on there. I'm getting a layer down, and then I can go in and add darker tones. And you'll notice the card isn't pilling because I'm not over wetting it.
It's nice as well to see you keeping quite a limited palette of colours, because when we all get started, and we were saying that the one-day special is ideal for new crafters, that you don't necessarily have a huge rainbow of different ink pads. So just a couple of ink pads, and of course the black one there for your outline edge, then yeah, that's all you pretty much need.
And I mean, I'm not sure that I've seen many blue roses, but again, I just wanted to come in just to show they don't have to be red. They can be whatever colour you fancy, and they just look really effective. They look really beautiful in lemon as well.
Oh yes, nice fresh.
So then I'm just going in and adding another layer of just a little bit of dark around in those centres there.
I think most flowers you can get in most colours as well, if you buy them from a florist, because they kind of put a dye in the water, don't they, and it draws it up through the stem sometimes and changes the colour of the petals.
Like you can get the two-tone ones as well, can't you, that are like, you've got the lovely crimply edges.
It's crafter's licence as well.
There we go. Right, so I'm happy with that.
Lovely.
All I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my platform this time, and I'm just going to, I knew that that would happen, I'm going to layer that down, and I'm going to use with love. So I am going to take full advantage of my grid sheet.
So the sentiment, does this come in the one-day special set
Now,
as well?
this is actually one of the sentiments from our pick and mix sets.
Oh, right.
So this will be decorative
show
sunflowers, but I absolutely love the fonts on these, and I wanted it to be a statement, so I've just gone and I'm mixing and matching. And that's the beauty of the stamp sets. They do all mix and match beautifully. So again, we'll just use a little bit. It doesn't need a lot of pressure, and that's perfect.
Lovely.
So we were just, and the good thing about this, I did have, oh, there it is. You can just add a touch. Do you know, I knew I'd forget something. I know what I've forgotten.
I haven't spotted it, whatever it is.
Well, they go on your face.
Oh, your glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, is this the point?
They're in the car. They're in the car. I know they are. I'll get them for the next one.
Okay.
Right. So you can add in a little bit of colour at the bottom of those, and it just looks like you've really shaded it. So keeping that nice and simple, I'm just going to get one of the paper inserts, and all I'm going to do, I'm just going to open that out, turn it back. We'll turn it inside out because I've got inky fingers. And I'm going to pin that in place. And also on one of the sets in the pick and mix, there's the floral verses set, and this has got some lovely verses on, so we're going to have one of those. We're just going to pop that in the middle. We'll take our with love off. That's where I was getting the inky fingers from. And then we'll ink that one up. And pop that down. And then just to tie a bit of the outside in, that's that way round, I'm just going to add a little bit, because it's left on the stamp, so I'm just going to add a little bit of the note in, and then I'm going to grab, I'm just going to see if there's any ink left. No. So I'm going to pop a second generation on here. And I'm going to take advantage of my sheet that's here.
Okay.
And just do a little one in that corner. And I actually just want a little bit in there.
Oh,
so that just ties in really nice. We'll just move that platform out the way. And I'm just looking for, I got it out, there we go. A little bit of tape on there.
Pop that inside.
And then just line that up. So I like to just make sure I've got them equal borders. Pop that over. And that gives you a real quick, simple
That is so effective.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Now I'm going to do a very quick recap. I know you're going to go straight into your next demonstration once I come back to you, but I need to give you an update. We have been so busy, not just for the one-day special, the details of which are on your screen, but what you have got is that fabulous cardstock that we've just seen Hazel working with. So you've got your true red, you've got your true green in this, and you've got that gorgeous super smooth cardstock as well. £14.95 is your price with regards to this one, but you're also getting that stamp plate. Now the stamps themselves from Pink Frog, you'd normally be looking at paying £14.95 for these in their own right. So working on that scenario, what that means is your cardstock is coming as a bit of a bonus, and what an amazing bonus. You're getting 15 sheets, you're getting 5 repeats of your true green, 5 repeats of your true red, and of course that gorgeous super smooth. So this is a nice set if you're wanting to perhaps try out that super smooth. To be honest, when you go for it, you will wish you've gone for our happy hour as well though, and I'll explain why in just a few moments, but the details are there on your screen. If you're wanting your one day special, please do be aware that 20% of the stock has gone. Now 962066, that is the item number. There's nothing stopping you going for multiples of these, because of course sometimes when you're working with your stamps it's nice to have more than one set, because of course you might be doing positioning, and rather than replacing the stamp and moving it to another area, you can use two at the same time. So I would imagine that lots of you will be going for multiples of these. And then even so, if you're wanting to keep the cardstock yourself for your set, from your second set, you could actually gift the stamps to somebody else, couldn't you, as a Christmas gift? Because as I say there, you can see £14.95 is the price that you would usually pay for those as well. Just to give you a little idea of a couple of different ways that they have been used. Obviously Hazel just showed us that version with the lovely blue rose. Thought it was very effective. But what about multicolour roses? Nothing stopping you doing that either. And of course a wonderful background has been created with one of the other stamp sets that we've got coming up in a little while. Of course the quality of the stamps means that you can heat emboss them if you're wanting to, so of course you can get your heat embossing powders involved, add your colours, especially with that super smooth cardstock, or even if you're using the true red, it saves you adding the colour yourself. And of course in the backdrop there you can see that gorgeous music script. Hazel touched on yellow roses as well, there you go, for different variation. And of course whichever way you are working with these, you know that you are buying quality with regards to those. So if you're wanting your one day special, the details are there on your screen, 962066. But very quickly before we go back to Hazel, can I please tell you about the happy hour deal? It has been flying out. I was thinking, now where have I put it? How could I lose it? How could I lose it, to be fair? I mean, look at this. That is incredible. I'm just thinking, the comparison of it's like a couple of bags of potatoes, the weight of this. It's huge.
It's actually, it's a ream box. It'll come to you in a brown cardboard ream box.
Oh, that's nice for storing it and keeping it neat and
you
tidy.
can just label up the front, pop it on your shelf, and it's there to grab whenever you need it.
Now with this, I mean, it's a weighty cardstock. You're looking at 300 GSM. Perfect for your card bases, perfect for those construction folds that you might be putting in, and even more so if you are creating anything with an aperture, if you're cutting any areas away. Works out at a little over 9p per sheet. Oh, a little under 9p per sheet. Oh, it's even better. So if you're making your cards to sell, then the key thing is, then yeah, by all means, go for multiples of these. Special occasions coming up, maybe you've got weddings coming up next year or the year after and you're thinking about invitations, then please, please, please make sure you're getting hold of that at that price while you've got the opportunity. This is going to go up in price. You've got the clock on your screen there. That's what you need to keep an eye on, because when we do get to 7 o'clock, the price will go up by £8. So please stock up on that when you've got the opportunity. Now, of course, Hazel was working on the cardstock that we've got within the one day special. She was doing a twofer, making 2 cards out of 1 sheet. So we get to see that second card. So Hazel, back over to you.
Okay, so the other one, we're going to do landscape. And what I've done is I've just got some of my Scotch tape, which I do find really handy. And I've just stuck it across because I want that area to stay completely white when I've finished inking. This time I'm opting for festive berries.
Lovely.
And I'm just going to add a nice soft little bit of ink. And it's just so that you can see when I pull the tape away, you can see that real crisp strip going across. So
wonderful.
Always taking off that excess there, because I just do want it just to be soft, but I am going to bring it up a little bit. So I've added a little bit of colour down there. And this time I'm going to use the single rose, so there's with no leaves on it. So I've just popped that to a block there, and I'm also going to use the Yes, that one, the background, the music. So
the music notes.
I'll probably use this on every demo, to be fair.
Well, it's a nice one to use.
So again, I'm just going to pop that first. Although it looks like I'm going to stamp it all, I'm just going to kind of press in portion of it. Okay. So I'm just getting little bits, and I'm going to move it around and just get, it doesn't matter if it over stamps or anything like that, it's just building up a quick background.
Lovely.
So that's that one. And then we'll come on to the rose stamp. So give it a nice ink up. Now I am using the Versaclair, which means I can do my watercolour. So if I stamp this up and go over the tape just a touch, that's going to give me a nice image in that corner. And then I'm just going to pop a couple in the top corner as well. So you can rotate it around so it's not quite so uniform.
That's a good point, yeah.
And I'm just going to put 2, and the reason being is because it's going to be less for me to colour in.
I like your style.
I'm going to be honest with you. So if I just bring this into play, you can see I've got like 4 up there and 1. There isn't any rules, it's just what you prefer. So we've just got 2 on this one. So if I take this away,
oh wow,
you've got
look
that
at
beautiful
that
crisp line.
That's that Scotch tape.
Yeah, now don't chuck it away, because you can use a baby wipe and then a piece of tissue.
And reuse
Now that is perfect and still really sticky. Stick it on my machine and I'll be reusing that.
I love it. Now that Scotch tape, we have got the details on the screen, as you can see, $13.99. You're getting 2 boxes of those. Brilliant value for money. Don't often see this here at Hochanda, so do take advantage while you've got your chance. And it is a useful one, as you saw there. Didn't pull away the cardstock or anything like that, but it left that lovely crisp edge there. Wonderful for positioning your dies as well on elements. And at $13.99, coming in a little box, nice little storage box there for it as well. $999-217. Incidentally, in this show, if you have just joined us, you've tuned in at a brilliant time. Nothing on this show is going to cost you any more than £16. $15.99 is the most expensive item on this hour. So this is definitely an hour to be a Freedom member. So do check that out at the same time as checking out your baskets. Carry on, Hazel.
So I've on my spit it out.
Spit it out, girl.
On this one, I've used Best Wishes from one of our other sets, because I really do like tying them together.
Okay.
On the set, on the rose set, you do get happy anniversary and birthday, so you can mix and match, and you also get congratulations. So I think for this one, maybe it's just a little congratulations, so just to show you that these work beautifully as well. And I love the delicate font on this, so I'm just lining that up.
That
and
sits
then
nicely in that Scotch tape area, doesn't
yeah.
it?
It just keeps everything thinner as well.
Yeah.
You've not got layers, so just stamp that down. I mean, look how beautiful and crisp that has stamped out. So a quick wipe and pop that away. And then all I'm going to do is just move that to the side, and then we'll come in with our water brush and start adding the colour in here. So again, if you need to take off ink in between, just so that you get it lighter, you can do that. You can squeeze some water out and water it down. It really is up to you, but towards the end of the petals I like to keep them a little bit lighter and go darker in the middle. It doesn't even matter if you've got a few of little white bits showing, because
true, yeah.
there isn't any rules.
But this is so achievable for anybody that's just getting started with the card making. Then, yeah, as Hazel's showing you here, you don't need a huge amount of stash. You just need good quality basics to ensure that you are going to get those results. And in turn, you'll be building your confidence and enjoying the craft even more so. And I just love this. Just using a simple ink pad there. Just, well, 2 ink pads being used in here. Obviously, you've got your VersaFine that you've used for creating your stamped image there, your black outline and your sentiments. But then something like an oxide or a distress you could potentially be using as well to stamp up the background and pull that colour in. It's amazing.
Would be great for, like you say, at the price, little stocking fillers. If you've got your little crafty friend and you're like, oh, what can I get them? It's something new, or if they're new to crafting, then like you say, they've got that perfect little starter kit to get them.
It's a nice one. I mean, maybe you've got nieces, nephews, grandchildren that do like to come round to your house and do a little bit of crafting. Obviously, if you're all in the same bubble together, but they like their own crafting goodies. And quite often, children don't want children's craft products. They want to be crafting with grown-up stuff.
I know my girls didn't when they were younger.
Yeah.
They liked to sit and copy what I was doing.
Yes.
Okay. So I've added some colour to my roses there, and then I've got a little insert to go in. So I'm just going to pop that up there.
Lovely. Are you working with a super smooth paper again, or are you going to go for the ice white?
It's super smooth again because it's basically, it's just 2 sheets of card. Well, 1 sheet of card and 1 sheet of paper.
You use the other half on the other card, yeah.
I'm actually just going to fold that back on itself so that I can keep that nice and tight into there. And I'm going to use a different sentiment this time. Now, where is that? That was lucky. I've got a little bit of ink left on here, so again I'm just going to add a little bit down. That'll do. And then we'll find ourselves a little sentiment. Now my verses, because I've put congratulations on there, I don't think any of these verses are going to... yeah, we'll have this one. With love and best wishes on your special day. That will work
nice,
perfect.
Yeah, congratulations. That could be any kind
it covers
of day,
any occasion.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to pop that down, and then we'll just stamp that one in. In fact, looking at that, it looks wonky. Am I straight?
So it looks okay.
I'll soon find out when I put it down. Okay.
That looks okay.
Happy with that. And then we'll go to the little rose. And again, I don't want this, I just want this in the background. So I'm going to take off that first print and maybe just have a few on that corner. And that is going to give me, pop a bit of tape down there. Move that to the side. That's going to give me my second card. I'll bring that one in as well. So very achievable, not a lot of time, not a lot of effort. We've just kept it simple with a couple of inks, but 1 sheet of card and 1 sheet of super smooth insert paper.
As they say, 1 sheet does plenty.
Absolutely.
I had to get that pun in there. Thank you for that, Emily. Now, lots of other products going into your baskets. What are you popping in? Well, you're popping in this fabulous poppy set. Lots of P's in that sentence, wasn't there? Now, your poppy stamp, again, beautiful quality. Similar sort of scenario to the rose that we saw. So you've got the gorgeous poppies in a variety of different kind of formations, but then you've got your background stamp that comes with it. You're not having to buy a different set. It is included within that. So you get 10 stamps within that sheet, and you can see there you've got lots of different elements there, as you can see. So sorry with sympathy, beautiful, in keeping with the poppy, the symbol of remembrance really, as well. And it's just nice and thoughtful to actually put that with sympathy alongside the poppy. I love poppies anyway. I mean, they're such a beautiful flower, and you can see that gorgeous true red cardstock that comes alongside it is a brilliant combination. 290 GSM, so again absolutely perfect for your construction of your card bases. You can see the little box feature in there as well, because you can use it for that. But have a look at this, just taking those two elements, the stamp and that gorgeous red cardstock, putting them together, and there you go. Now of course you can see that gorgeous glossy finish. We have got a fabulous bundle of glossy accents that you might like to add in alongside, and it gives it that kind of tiled, almost ceramic look to your dies, or your die cuts should I say, to give it that lovely almost enamel look. This is a pretty little one as well. So here you've got that fabulous little card there with the circle on the front there, but opening up a little bit like a gatefold, but again using your poppy seed pods there, but again that red cardstock coming back in time and time again, teaming it up with the black cardstock. And if you are looking for the black cardstock, we have got a lovely bundle where you've got your red, your black, your green, and it's a nice little selection bundle. We might show you that one a little bit later on. And there you go, blue poppies. We saw blue roses earlier on, so why can't we have blue poppies? Well, we can if you want. So 441936 if you fancy getting hold of that set, just £14.95. Now, This is brilliant. We're looking at Mylar now. Now, Mylar traditionally is used for creating stencils, but I must admit, when I looked at this, I thought, oh, these are a bit brilliant as blending mats, because you've got 6 of these, 6 of them for £11.99. Now, it's not the most excitingness to look at there. Can I pick it up and show you? I mean, it's lovely shiny and very smooth, but this is a really good size. And Mylar, I mean, it's one of those mediums that lots of people will cut with their electronic die cutting machines. 12 by 12, perfect for that. Yeah. You can cut it with your regular dies as well, though,
you
can't you?
There's a board just to your left.
Oh!
That's it. Okay.
Now,
so,
do you know what I thought this was?
Go on.
I thought this was a stencil we've got available to buy on the show. That shows you the quality.
Yeah.
That shows you the quality.
It's 350 micron.
Okay.
So through your electronic cutting machine, through your manual cutting machine, I don't think I think it's too thick to go through the electronic ones.
Okay. Sometimes it's the density as much as anything.
But for simple shapes, which you can use time and time again, and they're going to tie in with your cards, like that simple star card that's up there, or the one with the little balloons on, it just works amazing, and it ties in with your masket, so you can. I just love using it all together. It's just one of them staples, and when you get it, and it works out 50p a stencil. Yeah, you can't get cheaper than that, can you?
Exactly. And yeah, your steel rule dies, if you're working with those, or your mixed media style dies, your thicker dies, I don't think you have any issue with these. Obviously, the more complex the design, more intricate, then of course the more stress you're putting on your Mylar. But as Hazel quite rightly said, and with the stars there we saw a few moments ago, again, I think you're going to have brilliant results with those. And as she said as well there, with the electronic die cutting machine, I always liken it to feathers and concrete. You can have a block of concrete that's an inch thick, and you can have a block of feathers that are an inch thick, but one is much easier to cut than the other, and that's one of the things that you have to think of with your electronic die cutting machine. So yeah, just kind of err on the side of caution when you are using that, but if you're using your steel rule dies, then yeah, go for it. 6 sheets, 12 by 12, and brilliant if you do want to use them as a blending mat as well. £11.99 for those, and I'll see if I can get that back in place without it springing off. No, it's going to go. I just know it's going to go.
Perfect, look.
There you go.
Yay.
We got it. Yay! Thank you. Now, what else can I tell you about? Oh my goodness. Now, let me tell you about this. Now, this is that new size that we're getting more and more familiar with, 21 centimetres wide by 30 centimetres long. And we're looking at the brilliant super smooth card. Now, 80 sheets this time we're looking at with regards to this one, £10.99. And again, we've seen the benefits of working with this, Hazel.
Absolutely. So we've been asked time and time again to have a bumper pack in white, because when we introduced it, we did it 25 super smooth and 25 true black, which is brilliant, and it gets people started. But then they loved it and they wanted the bumper pack, so that's why it's come in today, and that's why it's new in with the 80 sheets. Come with all
your fancy folds as well.
Of course, you'll get your sheet as normal, like we always do, and it'll have your 10 folds on there, and it just means that you haven't got to work it out. It's all on the sheet for you.
Makes it nice and easy, and of course, when you get that work-through sheet, it will explain it fully, and you'll understand why that extra few mil does make a difference with your cardstock. So 553,999 if you fancy getting hold of that, £10.99, and you can get multiples of those. Now, talking about kind of little mixtures and trying things out, I think this is a really nice set to go for. You've got 5 different types of cardstock featuring within here, different colourways, different styles of cardstock, and this is a really good one. Now, we are looking at A4 with regards to this one, but you've got your true red in there, your true green that we're seeing within the one-day special, but of course you are getting your watercolour in there as well as your super smooth and your black. Again, a lovely selection pack. I would consider, again, if you're going for the one-day special as a gift for somebody, to add this in as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because you've got everything you need then.
Exactly. So obviously red and green tie in with roses, but they also, they're going to be colours that you're going to go through, keep coming back to all year. And it's a great way, if somebody hasn't tried our cardstock, for trialling each of the different sorts that we do, with it being 10 of each, so it just works really, really well. I
think the only one that we've not looked at closely is the watercolour cardstock, and this is the one that's got a little bit of a tooth on there.
It has got a little bit of a tooth, but the ink, it reacts differently to the super smooth, so you get a real nice bleed on it, and when you're stamping onto it, I did have a little board. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go.
Love that. So you're going to get obviously your watercolour cardstock. I'm going to take a sheet of these out so we can keep them at the back. Obviously you're going to get your red and your green that we're seeing within the one day special, your super smooth feature in there, but it's that true black as well. This is one that's always a popular one because so often we're matting and layering and using black. Anything that's got your mica powders in, they always look so amazing when you put them onto black cardstock as well. So it's a really nice selection bundle to have. The true green, again you've got green on both sides, green right the way through, no white core with any of these, and of course that fabulous red as you can see there as well. $13.99, my goodness, where's the time gone? We've only got about 10 minutes left.
Wow.
How did that happen? Details on the screen if you're wanting that bumper bundle there. Very, very quickly, the ice gold. This is one that's been a very popular one during this hour as well. And of course this is the one where you've got it, that you can use it for your insert paper, and you will see there you've got that gorgeous shimmer and sheen with this one. Lovely one to stamp on, lovely one to put through your inkjet and your laser printers as well. And at $14.99 for 300 sheets. You could use this in the same way as you were using the Super Smooth for the insert.
Yes, absolutely, definitely. And the sprays look beautiful on them as well.
Lovely, there you go. So if you fancy having a go with this one, I'm sure Hazel will use it over the next 24 hours. Maybe not in this hour because we've not got a lot of time left, to be honest. But some other things that you might like to add into your basket are the red liner tape. Now, when you're buying the Pink Frog red liner tape, you need to bear in mind that on each one of those rolls there, you have got 30 metres. So this isn't your regular 5 metre roll, you're getting a lot more. So this is the equivalent of kind of, or each one of those is equivalent to 6 of your regular rolls that you sometimes see here on Hochanda. $13.99 will get you in the 4 different thicknesses, as you can see there. So perfect for all eventualities, all opportunities. And there goes the super smooth cardstock. Yeah, 825810. Right, I'll just walk away from that and leave Hazel. Just under 10 minutes.
Right then. So this time we're going to use 2 of the 21 by 30s that you get in with the stamp set, and I'm going to do one of the card folds that comes on the sheets. It's a pop-out card, but it's got a difference to it. So on the first piece, you're going to do your half fold, and then half of that again is 7.5, and you're going to rotate that round. So you've got 4 equal sections, and on the second piece, we're just going to pop a halfway one, so that's 15 centimetres. Okay, so let's just get that board out the way, and then we'll bring in our trimmer, which is fell down into my box. So for this outside piece, what I need to do is just cut myself a little aperture in the front. So I'm going to pop it in, oops, little bits everywhere. Pop the left edge on 3 and the tool on 3, and I'm just going to cut 3 down to 18, and then I'm going to move this left edge up to 7.5, and I'm going to do that same cut again, 18 up to 3, and then rotate it around, and we're just going to cut out between them lines. So the left edge on 3, and you're cutting from 3 to 7.5, and the same on this one. So nice and easy. Okay, so that's going to be our outer card. Okay, I'm just going to pull this. Let me show you what we're actually going to make.
Oh wow!
So it's a pop-out card, but I've put this extra piece in so that when it shuts, and I've kept it really quite simple. I love monochrome, black and white, but I thought, do you know what? I'll do with the background on the red just to give a different look for you. Okay. So that's the outer card. For the inner one, what we need to do is just cut 3 lines down here. So the left edge on there again. So we cut 3 to 18, and then we just got to join it down to that score line. So nice and simple. 3 down, it's 7.5, and then the same on this side. And that is the basis for our card blank. Now you will get those instructions on your sheet. The only bit that you won't get is the cuts, and that's why I said the measurements when I did them. Okay. So this bit here folds forward, this one here goes a mountain, and this one comes a valley. That gives you that, and then this one will fit
clever.
inside. Okay, so all I've done now, I'm just going to place that to the side. I've gone ahead and I've cut myself some little matten layers in the black and white.
Lovely.
So this one is going to come in on here. So we'll start off with that. I'll keep that to the side, and we're going to bring in our platform. And this time I'm going to use the rose on the stem with the leaves, and I'm also going to be using a little bit of the music note. I know I'm going to keep forgetting what it is. This time I'm going to do it properly, and I'm going to position my rose.
Oh, bless you.
And I'm going to just curl it to the right a bit.
Okay.
Pin that down. And we'll stamp that, and yeah, I'll go in black. Now I have gone ahead and made myself a mask. So this is where the masket comes into its own. So I've got one image down. If I then grab my, now this is quite delicate because I've cut round all of those leaves. If I stick that over, this is going to allow me to now stamp behind this image. So just make sure you get everything lined up.
Hazel, you've caused a real stir with this basket sheet. Everybody's been adding it into the basket. It's been very, very busy. What was the update on that, Emily? Nearly 40% of the stock has gone of it.
Right.
It is one of those very useful.
Of course it is, yeah. It's just, it's not until you've tried it that you realise, and you're like, wow, where has this been all my life?
Use it in so many different techniques.
So now I've just put this sheet in because I'm going to take off my stamp and I'm going to realign it. So I'm going to pop it up a bit just so it kind of makes it a taller image. Got that in position now, and then move that out the way. Take my sheet off.
Now I'm just going to give you guys your 10-minute warning with regards to your happy hour deal. We've only got 5 minutes left on the hour, but your happy hour deal, if you want to take advantage of this, now is the time to get it in your basket but checked out. Because of course if it's in your basket in 10 minutes time, it will still be there, but it won't be there at the price on your screen. And that's the key thing, get it now, because I know lots of you will have had it in your basket already. It might even be sitting there as we're talking. Please check your basket and then come back and watch the demonstration on Rewind. I don't want you missing out on this. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is just something a little bit, is that grey, Hazel? Yes, that's grey. I don't want grey. I want a bit of black. So I'm just going to add a little bit of ink, and I am going to be a little bit messy here, but I'm going to stamp it off, and I am going to just portion it over. Okay. I don't mind if I get a little bit on the flowers, if that makes sense, but I'm just trying to get it around a little bit. Almost like a halo around it. Yeah. That's enough. Okay, so from there, what I've done is I've actually got some little bits that I've stamped it down again, and then I'm going to curl these, and they're going to decoupage on there to give me some dimension. Clever. So I've done 2 bits and a little bit of the leaf. So that one's that done. While I've got the platform out, I've got ink all over that, look. So in my sections now, I'm going to use the, that one. What is it? It's a stem. It's a stem. And I'm just to give you a bit of a time check, we've got about 2.5 minutes left, Hazel. Oh, that's not enough. Right, I'll do one of these and I'll try and move on, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to pop a little bit. All I'm doing is making a border. If I just pull this in front so that you can see, nice and simply. I see, yeah. I do want to show you how to do that congratulations, because that does take, you think it's hard, but it isn't. So get your congratulations, put that into the corner, and I've got 2 centimetres to play with. I'm going to position that centrally, pick it up, and then I'm going to, whoopsie, that one, stamp, right, then move it down 2 centimetres. So you move your cardstock. And look, this time I'm going to do the second gen. Oh, okay. Move it down 2 centimetres. So it's quite a quick thing. We'll do every other, if that makes sense. So stamp full. So first and second. Second.
and then you're just going to work your way down. So that's how I've done that one. And then, have I got a minute left now?
You have, yes.
That's good going, isn't it?
Oh gosh, that's you could hear the voice in ears.
So I now want to move to the texture set. I'm going to grab myself a block and just show you how quickly these, and what I'll do is I'll come back to this one in the 8 o'clock show.
Okay.
And we can kind of show you how it goes together.
Lovely.
I've just destroyed the set.
Oh, this is fabulous. Now, this is one of those background stamps. Again, do check out on the website. There's loads for you to look at. We are down to the last 30 seconds of the hour, so we're not going to get much further with this particular project. But, of course, as Hazel quite rightly said, she is back with Scott at 8 o'clock, so the story will continue then, if
Correct.
that's okay,
Yeah.
Hazel.
I just wanted to show you how I created the panels, each one. And if I just bring this in, how many seconds now? Probably 10.
Ooh, about 15.
Right, okay. So literally you would have 1 panel, 2 panel, 3 panel.
I get it.
And then that one. And then
Sits
it
in
would
there
stick
perfectly.
in like this.
That's amazing. Now, 8 o'clock is the time for you to come back. Hazel, thank you for your inspiration, as always. One day special. It's flying.